Hello and welcome. This is Raise Your Weapon. I am RYW Pato, here to bring you a game between Team AsK, the blue team, and the purple team, Team Make It Rain. You have seen them on our YouTube video before, and a special member added into Team Make It Rain is Mr. Bosscow himself from RaiseYourWeaponMedia. So he will be ringing for them, probably playing AP mid. And let's jump into the bans since we did not get a chance to see them. Shotgun Ram is Kassadin. Kassadin don't want him to face mid, counters a lot of APs. And then Shotgun Ram is just annoying from the jungle. And then Shen, very, very strong after this last patch. He's going to be a very common ban you'll see. He's a huge ban in solo queue right now. And then Ari has great chase and escape after she hits level 6. Has that true damage. Great charm ability, can carry a lot of games. So she has been banned, and Warwick, an interesting ban on Warwick. I did not know where that is coming from. Warwick can have some really successful ganks and is a very good sustained top. But maybe these teams have played against each other. I know they played some games last night. So maybe they saw something and there was a Warwick that gave them trouble, so they've decided to ban them. Lee Sin, a first pick for Team AsK. Lee Sin, very, very strong jungler, can really steamroll and snowball game if he can get some kills early. Falls off a little bit late game though. And then we have Vayne, so good as AD. TK Rain, normally known for playing Graves, but this time we're not going to see the Graves. And Winster playing Shyvana, the oh-so-popular counter jungler. Now the problem with Shyvana is you can go in early red, however, you have to be careful. Teams can do a lot of things, like they can steal your red, and if Shyvana without red or without a frozen mallet or a phage cannot really gank very heavily. She doesn't have really quite the tools to do it, so you're basically giving up ganking power for jungle invade, which is what she's really good at. Has a lot of great matchups against other junglers. If she meets another jungler in the jungle, she can usually beat them 1v1. So that's why she is so strong. And then if we have on the other side, looks like we're gonna have a Sivir pick. Sivir nerf? Nope. Oh, maybe a Tristana. Tristana, actually really like the Tristana pick if they do choose to stick with it. Looks like they're going to go Tristana, Sona. Sona actually nerfed in the last patch. She's kind of a sustained support. Her aura buffs have been nerfed significantly, almost halved at lower levels, but they reach the same potency when they hit up around level 5. So, still give you the same bonus at the top end, but the low end not quite as strong. Tristana, though, very, very great hyper carry for late game. However, in my opinion, if you're going to pick any support at all these days, it has to be Janna. Janna, you know, she can't sustain, but all the sustains have been hit so hard that Janna's really fallen in line to about even, and the thing about Janna is reaching mid and late game, she's just the best support in the game. So, I'm almost siding with the fact that you should play Janna in almost every team comp, and she actually pairs really well with Tristana. I would say right now the best AD support combo probably is Kog'Maw Janna. Although TK Rain locking in that Vayne, so he's going to stick with Vayne. I don't think he ever played Kog'Maw. I don't even know if he owns Kog'Maw, so that could be a reason for that. Nonification looks like he's going to go top as Pirate. Probably steal. No. Yeah, he is. No, he's purple team, so we won't see the red steal more than likely. It is popular for blue team if you have a Pirate to go that way, and it looks like Team AsK is going to counter with a Yorick maybe, or I'm not quite sure. And the brand pick, and that leaves Bosscow with the quintessential counter pick. He can play whatever he wants. Bosscow, the highest elo player in this game, the ringer, if you will, for Team Make It Rain. Let's see what he picks. Brand, you know, very good burst caster. I've seen him in solo queue a bunch. He can be pretty good. He's great in team fights, but he just, you know, he's missing that extra something. You know, just dealing damage isn't enough. There's a lot more AP characters these days that have more mobility or tricks or CC. I mean, he has some CC, but it's not necessarily reliable. Some good AoE in team fights. But then again, you run into something like Xerath here, and the problem with facing a Xerath is Xerath just has more range. It's going to be really hard for you to poke and bully him around, which the Brand era, if you will, when Brand was very, very popular, was mainly in response to the fact that Annie was so strong, and he could bully her around, and he could bully a lot of the APs around, but all these new APs that have come out since then have a little something extra to deal with Brand, and he's been a little bit outclassed lately, I feel. So Bosscow playing his path Xerath. I know Bosscow is an A+ S-class Xerath player, so it's going to be very, very hard for Cinder to go up against him. And Cinder, nice pick. He's going to go Brand. His name is Cinder. Good deal. Looks like for bot picks, bot support AD combo, the AD will have the team heal, which means that they will benefit a lot more from that. It looks like team Make It Rain has decided to stick with CV, which is very, very smart in the new meta. You know, a lot of people have been ditching CV, keeping that team heal, but the truth about CV is in the current meta, it's very easy to get invaded on without the CV, because CV used to be rampant and used to always be able to spot out your opponents. The beginning of the game wasn't unpredictable. Now, without CV and players favoring to go without it because of the recent nerf and it getting weakened a bit, they give up all that safety early game. There's a lot more jungle ganks and action, which I do like, but at the same time, if you're playing a competitive level, I think it's very, very smart to still work in a CV somewhere. But as far as lanes go these days, it looks like Sona has Exhaust instead of Ignite. And so what I've actually seen I've even seen supports go, completely offensive spells. I've seen Janna's. Icons of Vanity's Roshan now actually plays a Janna where he goes no flash, so he has no escapability, but he just goes Ignite Exhaust, and it's a very, very aggressive lane. Usually they play it with Tristana or Graves or some other really aggressive AD. And then what they do at that point is you basically just save yourself with all of Janna's CC and her ult, which she is really, really hard to catch even without a flash. And he actually gets away with it, even in terrible positions. So it just goes to show you that you don't always necessarily need flash on some characters, and it leads to a really aggressive, interesting lane, which I like to see. It looks like Pirate will be the jungler, and Shyvana will actually be top, so a miscall of that. I haven't seen Shyvana play against Yorick, so it'll be interesting to see how well she can do against that. And this is kind of the advantage of picking Shyvana and Pirate, is you can interswitch them based on what your opponent chooses to pick top solo. I've seen a lot of interesting picks in that manner as well, of picking what looks like a standard jungler character, but they can be a top solo, and then they try to counter the top solo pick, what they think is the top solo pick, and then you just move them into the jungle and pick some other top solo to counter them. So the two main picks, if anybody is interested, whenever you're doing picks in a competitive game, you want to hide your top solo and your AP tentatively for last, because those are the two solo lanes that can be counterpicked. Bottom, you can't really counterpick bottom, and jungles don't really play against each other too often, so there's not very many counter picks there. The main counter picks are in your mid matchup, your solo matchup, and your top solo matchup. So you want to hide those picks, save those picks to last in general, just because the less you do that, the more it saves you from getting counter picked. Although sometimes you can bait out the top solo pick because so many are interchangeable in the jungle. AP mid, it's not quite like that. There's actually been a lot of meta talk recently about how the reason the meta is kind of stuck the way it is there's no APs that can actually jungle very effectively. I mean, no burst damage APs. I mean, there's a lot of tanky AP characters you could argue that can definitely do it, but there's no real. I mean, Xerath can't go into the jungle, and so there's kind of some talk about, hey, like if we could somehow come up with a bursty AP or something that we could put in the jungle, and it would be efficient and good, then it would be a lot more interesting for the meta. You can mix some stuff up, but since you have to rely on kind of putting AP mid most of the time, that's kind of the way that it ends up being. Other interesting things. Gonna load up here. Skin War looks like, ooh, that's why we see a Vayne. TK Rain wants to play that Heartseeker Vayne, Valentine Vayne, with all her hearts. It'd be nice if Condemn actually turned into a Charm instead. Be cute. The best brand skin, Dr. Freeze brand, actually Cryo Freeze brand. Good Yorick skin. So it looks like we have a 3-1 or a 3-2 advantage for Team AsK. So AsK winning the Skin War. That doesn't always matter, but it does sometimes. I think a lot of people don't know what to talk about at this point, so I think pretty much 90% of the time everybody makes the Skin War joke to fill in this time. I've just done it now. But I'm thinking I'm going to go on strike. I think after this, there's going to be no more Skin War talk. Maybe my co-caster will bring it in, but for me personally, gonna leave out the Skin War talk. It's overplayed, it's outplayed. It's not hip anymore, it's not cool. Bump up my mic like a boss. So everybody is loaded in, just waiting to hop into the game now. Here we go. What are the players going to buy off the start? Lots of boots. A Meki pendant for Mr. Graves, York. The Gravedigger York. Do like this skin. Am a fan. / appreciate. And there is that Heartseeker Vayne.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So awesome. And Bosscow heading to the mid lane. Looks like he's going to move over, try to guard his Wraiths. Guard that red, which is an important objective. You know, our red's a very common invade these days. Since most teams do start at blue, you don't have CV. This is actually very dangerous now. You almost want to camp with 5 people unless you're spread out at the entrances, because the common path to steal red is to go here and this tri-brush, then you head up and around this way, then you can come down to this brush pretty safely and vision, come out and around, and then you actually run just along this edge right here to give you the most surprise chance on this spot right here. Then you just close in, try to get a kill off, although the problem is without CV, what ends up happening is you could head to this, you round this corner, you head to this brush right here. If 5 people are here and you're coming in and you have no vision of them, guess who loses that level 1 team fight? You do. So, not always the best. Looks like Lee Sin's probably going to go red early and go for an early gank. Going to kill Raise. Pretty common start for him. Brand's going to give him a little support here. Some auto attacks. Save that mana. No, Pirate's going to do Wolves first. Now the thing about Raise is it actually gives you more experience. That's why he's going to do Raise first. Then he's going to go to red. And red is going to allow him to have a really crazy gank. Because the thing about red is that it basically takes away the need to land that Sonic Wave. I mean, most times when you gank with Lee Sin, people talk about landing the Sonic Wave. Well, you really just have to get Tempest off. And if you get Tempest off and you get the slow, you just have to apply red buff, and then you're fine. And at that point, there's no way you should ever miss Sonic Wave in a million years unless they flash. Well, you just Tempest, and you apply an auto attack with red buff and your attack speed bonus from his passive. You get your energy back on top of that, but you're going to land the red slow, and then after, it looks like a lot of pings for him possibly coming for a gank. But then after you do that, you can usually pop a flash, and you don't even have to land the Sonic Wave. You've succeeded. A flash is almost worth a kill, because you can just come back to that lane a little bit later, camp it even, and pick up the kill. Top trading back and forth, Shyvana kicking Yorick's butt, because that's what she does. Lee Sin being very patient, although Bosscow's shaded to the other side of these creeps, which is very smart. He realized that a level 2 gank from Lee Sin is going to come from this angle, which means he will probably be safe for most attacks. Now he takes this angle, wants to dodge the Sonic Wave, just gets out of range. So very good by him, and Lee Sin has wasted time here. Pirate ahead of him at level 3 already, killing these golems, will hit level 4 very shortly. Looks like Lee Sin's going to go back to Raise to pick up some experience. So just a little bit more experience on that bar, and he will hit level 4. Meanwhile, Shyvana pushing this lane very hard against Yorick, who's normally the one who's good at pushing. And Yorick, you know, he really just needs mana intensive and wants to spam his ghouls, and usually can boss around all the characters like a pirate, let's say. But it's kind of hard against Shyvana. She can actually do lots of AoE damage, she can get away pretty easily. Just gonna pop some pots here. Shyvana starting cloth armor and pots, so he's going very tanky. Meanwhile, Yorick, you know, he started that mana pen, so he doesn't have a lot of potions. Bottom lane being pushed really hard. Let's take a look at that CS. Vayne sitting here at 18 CS. Tristana at 23, so Tristana doing a better job here of CSing. Take your reins on playing a lot of Graves lately. Looks like Lee Sin sneaking up on top here. Would have a pretty good gank attempt at Shyvana. The problem with Shyvana, though, is she does have that burnout, and this lane is pushing. CV coming down. They do know this is here. And great clutch CVs. I mean, they know. I mean, that's the power of CV. Bosscow needs to be a little bit careful here. Might get picked off by a stun very easily. Looks like he wants to engage here. This might be a mistake. Still has the key. Oh, he loses the passive from Brand, so he should be safe. Dodges that Sonic Wave. Jukes down. Very good move by Bosscow. Heads up play right there. That's the kind of stuff you want to see. And it looks like Pirate is coming in here. Maybe going to go for a gank. Waiting out his turn here. Now with Xerath, see, Xerath has this range advantage over Brand. Brand's a bully, but not against someone that has as much range as Xerath. Once Xerath hits level 6 and he's allowed to basically make it rain, if you will, with his ult at long range, Brand can't do much about it. He's going to get stunned, and then he's going to get all the damage rained down on top of him, and he's probably going to die. Unless he can flash out, get out of it quick enough. So advantage goes to Xerath once we hit level 6. Now Brand, actually, if he can get inside of, if he can get the mage chains on cooldown, then he actually will have the advantage. And Pirate's coming around now, and now Brand is in all sorts of trouble. Gets that movement speed boost, gonna land the mage chains, gonna get the stun, and Brand is dead. First blood going down to Bosscow. Great pickup of the kill, and that is why it's dangerous to move past this middle river, and you should try to even your lane out a little bit more. You want to be the one pushed against it. Bottom pretty open to a gank. Blue has a great, interesting ward here. Normally don't see that ward placement. I normally see right here, but this ward placement is pretty good. It's tied against this wall, and actually does catch a little bit of this river opening, so I do like that a little bit. Bosscow, meanwhile, putting a lot of pressure onto this turret. Put a little bit of damage. Now, middle turret, so typically what you want to do is wait. There's a 15-minute rule where you want to leave a turret up for 15 minutes into the game at least, in order to deny your opponent experience and gold. You can push against it, push the creeps into it, have the creeps die, clear the creep waves, and deny them some experience, and that's why you want to leave it up. You don't want to kill before then, because then you give them more room, free room to farm, because you're not going to push patch there. It's way too dangerous for you. However, mid-turret's one of those turrets where if you can kick down mid-turret pretty fast, it opens you up to roam, and AP mids have a lot of burst damage typically, and if they're allowed to roam to other lanes, it can be a big, big problem, especially with a highly mobile, you know, AP caster that can actually juke over walls like a Gragas or a Cassidy. We don't see that in either of these AP mids, but it's still a deal. It looks like Brand is trying to push up this lane really, really fast. Doesn't quite have enough damage to clear these waves like he wants to, and Pirate all over him here. Pirate level 5, Brand level 6, almost dead. Oh, flashes out just in time. Wow, great job by Pirate committing. Non-fiction. One of my co-casters, if you know, knows matchups very, very well. Placing this forward ward, very, very good. Will we see an engagement? Looks like we're not going to see. He would be in a huge deal of trouble if he ran into Bosscow as support. Yorick going to throw a ward into this tri-bush. That is very, very smart for him. Gives to Edgemont. And Shyvana, you know, right now, let's look at her. 51 CS versus Yorick's 34, so definitely killing this matchup. She's taking a lot of harassment, but she's just sustaining, and she's better at clearing and pushing waves. And here we have an engagement down here. Lisa being caught out. Lisa is going to be picked up. Sona trying to help out. Janna coming in now. Will we see it all? She does not have her ult, but she has so much slow and CC. And if we get another CC onto Sona, she definitely will fall. Her team heal has been popped. She's so low. It looks like they're going to back off, and they might see a dragon, an early dragon here. And Sona has to back out, so it would be just Tristana and Brand. I don't think they're going to be able to stop this. Non-fiction, what does he have right now? Does he have his wriggles already? No, he's not. He's working on it. He will have it after they do this dragon, though. That is for sure. Gonna probably want to pull this dragon out so he doesn't die. Gonna get a bubble from Janna. No, they will pull this away. So, moving up here. Might feed Xerath blue while they're at it, but might have non-fiction go back. We'll see. They're thinking about it. Looks like Pirate's gonna start this, and I would Xerath. So what he's gonna do here is he knows that he can get over there in the blue in time, but he's gonna clear these creeps really quickly. So one, his lane pushes, plus you know he can get over there in time, but it looks like it's gonna reset before Xerath can get over there. Not enough time. So maybe Bosscow will try to brute force this. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna see the brute force. Now you want to start with mage chains typically, so you can get the stun off ahead of time, get that second burst to kill. Lined up a little bit better, but he's just going to go for it. So that little time he took about was a little bit too much. Probably should have went over and helped non-fiction earlier. Got this without taking damage because he's gone down below half health now. He might want to back. I mean, be safer at this point. Looks like TK Rain and Janna have back. Janna coming back to lane. What does Miss Janna have? She got her Philostone, has her boots, very, very strong. Double Vamp Scepter going down for Shyvana and Mr. Make It Rain. And whew! Getting chased here. Looks like he's coming back, trying to bait out that stun. Very ballsy here. Just baiting out spells from Brand. Brand does not have a limited mana, and Bosscow does have that range advantage. And Shyvana actually really low top, getting chased down. Ready for this. Got back to lane, and now she's getting horribly harassed. Looks like she pushed that lane really, really hard, and Yorick decided to engage. We said thinking about coming up, but Brand, you know, he really has that one burst combo, but since he's behind, you know, his damage is really blunted, and so since that's his current state, He has a lot of bursts, but without landing a really solid stun or something like that, he has a little bit of trouble trying to deal with Xerath's range. Xerath's a superior matchup to him. An interesting Sonic Wave into a minion. Lee Sin trying to farm a little bit here, but Lee Sin's been pretty ineffective. If you have an ineffective Lee Sin, you're gonna have a really hard time in lane. Looks like Shyvana went back, bought her Wriggles. We're probably gonna see. We're not gonna see triple Wriggles here, but we do have a double Wriggles. I don't think TK Rain is a fan of the Wriggles. You saw Razor Weapon in the recent Vancouver Online tournament that they won the final game. They actually went triple Wriggles, were able to pick off a Baron really quickly. They didn't actually get many Dragons, but they were able to get a really quick Baron, so that is an advantage of having a bunch of Wriggles on your team. It's a great early game item. Also gives you tons of wards for late game and moving forward, and allows you to get objectives like blue buffs, Dragon, and Baron. So the next Dragon attempt they decide to do, or if they decide to move in and engage on buffs, they will be able to steal them really quickly. Shyvana placing this ward right here, doing a lot of evasion. This is what she is good at. They saw Lee Sin in lane, so they knew this was safe. Brand, meanwhile, zooming in on this, they've been tipped off somewhat. Looks like Brand's actually just placing a ward. Yorick looks like he's gonna back out of mana. Waiting to get his mana Sword of Doom. He's gonna convert to Tear. And he's gonna get some magic resist CC boots, although that's not, I mean, while those boots are good, it's not necessarily what he wants in the matchup is currently facing. I mean, Shyvana's not a lot of AP damage, and Shyvana, again, this is a very smart veteran move to push past the turret and actually kill the minions behind the turret to make sure that your minions focus the turret while they are dying, denying Yorick XP. That's great use of turret and advantage, knowing where your opponents are. Looks like Sona has walked by Dragon. Double ward up by Dragon. Pirate all over Brand again, just doesn't care. He can eat right through his stun. So he's just absolutely regulating that, and Brand almost going down to that Arcana Pulse from Bosscow. Xerath is so strong now. Let's take a look at this guy. He's needlessly big, large big rod. Has 146 damage, and right here we can see 87 plus 235, so he has over 300 damage in his Arcana Pulse right now. So strong. And Shyvana just being a total jerk, just pushing up this lane and then constantly roaming down in to counter jungle this Lee Sin. I almost feel a little bit sorry for him, but I don't. So Team AsK down about 3k at this point. Only 2 kills in this game so far, but just great solid play we can see from Team Make It Rain. Winning pretty much every lane as we speak. Tristana sitting at 105 CS, Vayne at 104. Pretty even there. No kills. So I mean, that lane, if anything, is even. Although Brand getting beat up a little bit mid, 7-1-1 CS to 94, plus 2 kills for Xerath. Top, in the meantime, we have Shyvana being a dragon lady as she likes to be. 110 CS versus Yorick's 79, so huge advantage actually there, even though there's no kills. And oh, Lee Sin is a dead man. Ignite goes down onto him. There's going to be no safeguarding that will save you from that, buddy. Nonfiction picking up the kill with the parlay. Middle lane being very dominant here. Nonfiction doing a great job working with him and just, just running straight at Brand all the time. And that's, I mean, that's a sign of bad times. That's really why Brand, this is a good example of why Brand's kind of outclassed now compared to where he used to be. When he played against other characters that didn't have the range like a Xerath, he was fine. But now he just, he's not really up there in that top tier. Justana's Sona have been doing a good job pressing this turret. I would like to see some move to try to maybe get in on this bottom lane. However, the problem with that is great red steal by Nonfiction. Great warding by, sorry about that. Great warding here. I'm a little sniffly, so excuse me for the sniffles. But great warding here actually by Team AsK. One thing that I've noticed that they have been doing a great job of is warding and protecting. I mean, even though the Dragon is getting stored, they actually do have great ward placement to try to cover Dragon, stop the next Dragon, and protect this bottom lane. This bottom lane is pretty impregnable, and they keep trading. There's no real advantage from either player in bottom lane. The only difference is Vayne has gone for that early Bloodthirster, actually has it farmed already, and Tristana, meanwhile, is working on that Infinity Edge. Might see Vayne go back for those, yes, level 2 boots, and that's what she really needs, because Vayne actually prides herself on attack speed as opposed to just straight up damage, because you have that true damage from those bolts, and Janna actually could be in a little bit of trouble here if she could get engaged on. But the thing about Janna is she's so hard to catch, and she's such a great support. I mean, she's weak early, but as you can see, it's not hard to get through the early game now, especially since sustained supports have been nerfed. And, I mean, really, the truth is that she's definitely, in my opinion, the best support in the game right now. And here we go, here's Xerath coming in. They see this coming, and this is a lot of trouble. If Janna can get any part of this, get any more slows on there, Catapult's landing, staying out of Bosscow, you know, veteran player, he doesn't just commit blindly and just try to throw down all his damage. He actually... Oh, trying to get a blow up on Sona. Sona's going to be really, really close, but to get that heal off and survive. Using his explosions right there to great effect, and now that they've pushed them back bottom, we will see Shyvana has rotated down. We have double wriggles. This will go down very, very quickly. Brand's going to probably get in there and throw his ult, but it's going to be too late. Shyvana can actually deal with him 1v1 pretty well. Land his stun. Oh, did he throw his Q originally first? That would be interesting. Brad Pagaff almost getting picked up by Vayne, and he will get picked up by Vayne. There's the roll, there's the kill. Safeguard attempted incoming. Yorick coming down. Not going to have enough damage to deal with this. Right now, Make It Rain actually with a healthy 6k lead at 17 minutes about into the game. 16:50 on the game clock. I liked a round. But Dragons and everything going to raise her up, and great team movement and moves. As you saw, there was this very coordinated play. Really solid, just total gameplay, because I mean, even though Tristana's doing a good job in this game and bot lane's fine, the rest of the lanes are just getting outworked. And top lane was a little bit of a matchup thing. Make It Rain did some really good champion pick select moves, and just Bosscow middle. You know, he not only is he a great player, I gotta hand it to part of it being, you know, Bosscow just is a really good Xerath. The other part of it is, oh, Tristana's getting blown up over this wall. Make It Rain coming down in. Teamwork at its best. They're using his ult to farm a little bit more. But, I mean, really it's just team movement. What you see is great team coordination here. Shyvana, you know, keep pushing that lane, comes down, counter jungles, checks that blue. Nonfiction decide to really camp middle red, take away a lot of Brand's power and effectiveness. Probably one of the highest damage dealers on their team after Tristana's hyper carry. Tristana's been allowed to stay even. She could be a pest late game because she is a hyper carry. So she could be very, very strong at that point, but the rest of Team Make It Rain is just so strong right now that I don't know if it's going to matter. And Brand caught out again, doesn't actually have a turret, so he is dead. There's no foreseeable way I can actually see him surviving this. Pirate Out going down is going to pick up Brand. Arcana pulls over the water, through the bushes, through the forest. Going to pick up a double kill. Count it, auto attack, get some. Bosscow can like a boss, like he should. 501, that is a very familiar sight. Bosscow on Xerath, wrecking fools. Looks like GG has been called. Looks like they might surrender at 20 minutes. And really, this has just been a great overall game closed out by Team Make It Rain. As you can see, it's a great example. You know, everything I've gone over with, just, you know, how to really take advantage and dismantle a game. One in Champ Select, they had great picks. And the other is just their team movement and placement. I mean, it's just been spot on this whole game. So, you know, props to Team Make It Rain if this is indeed a surrender. I mean, it's only 1 of 7. I've seen better comebacks in my day, but 8k advantage, you know. It is possible to come back from that. Let's look at Brand. He has 3 Doran's rings and a health belt. So he has a lot of health, but he doesn't have any damage, where Xerath actually has a rabbit on his death cap and a revolver. So he's going to blow up everybody. And now Shyvana's all over Brand. Brand just has no damage at this point. Not really scared. Shyvana moving in. Go to the grab. Stun going on to Brand. Brand's going to be blown up with that Ignite. Quinster picking up the kill. And now they're going to move for Baron to wrap this off. Probably. They have a lot of Wriggles action, so they should be able to do this pretty convincingly. Looks like Vayne is rotating up. Lots of clearing of wards. They probably will know that they are shifting over. They need a tank to come in here. Looks like Pirate's going to be the tank. Shifting over. Blue team pinging across the way. Maybe they're going to ward? I have no idea. Lester needs to be careful. Janna popping her heel. Afraid that her team might die in this Baron attempt or something. And this should be good right here. There we go. Team make it raid with a 20-minute Baron. Basically, they've achieved every objective that you'd want to achieve. Lisa not being sneaky enough. And from downtown, Shyvana probably... Oh, Pirate's going to move in. Pick up that last kill after he gets dragon kicked away. And Xerath's just so strong. It looks like the other team, opposing team, Team AsK, not really ready to surrender. They're going to actually practice this out. This is a scrim. If you are in this to practice, you might as well practice it out. 12k down. It's really hard to recover a game from that, but it'll just give you more, just go in and approach it, see if you can win. That's the thing. See if you can find something that'll work. If I was them, what will work? I mean, let's diagnose it down. Tristana, how carried is she? She has an Infinity Edge. She has decent damage. Has attack speed steroid, so she's good there. Although she probably needs a Phantom Dancer to be really, hyper carry stats. So you need to turtle and get her to at least that stats, probably. Although she's pretty behind. Vayne already working towards that Phantom Dancer. As far as stuns go, Sona is a great asset. You have that AoE stun, so you can catch the team really good. Brand is not damage focused as he is. I mean, really, the health belt is a mistake. He needs to go just glass cannon damage. I don't think he can go health belt when you're behind, which he's probably normally used to being ahead. But you're behind, so in this case you need damage. He needs to be going damage. Yorick can make anybody on your team tanky. If it comes down to Tristana Protection Fest, then he's great for that because he can actually protect Tristana pretty well. Brand running for his life because the stun means he's dead. Arcana Pulse, super scary. Let's go look at Arcana Pulse now. Mr. Arcana Pulse is at almost 500 damage. So yeah, so 300 damage. So it's gained 200 damage since we last checked in. But if I were them, it's really comes down to a great Brand ult followed by a great burst. And you have to focus, in my opinion, it has to be Xerath and Vayne. But there's just so much damage from all the teams. Soda actually being caught out here. Great ult, but great comeback by Quinster. You see that was very smart positioning himself so he would actually pull her back a little bit. But that you can't have that. So since they're not grouped up, it's pretty much over. They're just too far behind. See, here we go. Graves has his man immune, but that's late, and Mercury Treads really wasn't a great pick for the matchup that he was facing on top. And here we go. I mean, really, this has to be closed out by Make It Rain. Make It Rain looking very, very good here. There's not much that can be done about this, especially 4v5 with a Baron buff advantage. I think with Baron buff they can't actually stop this. They could actually be dove right now. Fine, free. Pirate going down. Looks like the route is in force. They have all 5 now, although there's no ult. Brand ult going down. Not really an opportune target. And a flash team heal from a member. Getting as many last hits as they can. Xerath should back out a little bit more. There we go. Gotta pick up the turret. Bosscow loves his turret kills. Move it in. Kill the inhib. Lots of fire from downtown. Oh, look at the range on that Mage Chain. That Mage Chain is no joke. That's some serious range. And I mean, don't forget Mage Chains does do damage here. Look at that. Look at how much damage Mage Chains does. That is nuts. 600 damage. 600 damage from Mage Chains. Looks like he's working on a Void Staff. Gonna remove some MR. However, oh, there's the five votes. There's the GG. Congratulations, team. Make It Rain. Putting on a very impressive display, and AsK getting in some good practice there in that game. Victory. GG's to both team. Again, I am Pato. We will have a bunch of events coming up this weekend. Check out Game Breakers Land Center, which will be hosting a 5v5 tournament this weekend, the 25th. On Saturday, will be from 12 till whenever it finishes. Should have 8 teams, double pool play. We will be streaming that live. Check it out later this weekend.